Good evening, everyone. It's been a very long time. I actually stood in front of a physical audience and spoke to people. Last 2 years have been a lot of camera-facing stuff. So, pardon me if I fumble, because not habituated to see so many people together. My name is Dipesh. I head Kaspersky for South Asia. Um, I've been here for almost 3 years now, very close to 3 years, and uh, ever since I stepped in, I think this was the message that we were trying to drive, that cyber security is one aspect, but I think now it's time and the maturity level of understanding of cyber security for everybody is there. Now that we move from cyber security to cyber immunity. As luck would have it, ideally not the right kind of luck, but yeah, immunity went on to become the most adapted word since 2020 and 2021. Now, ideally, what immunity means? Immunity ideally means that you as an individual believe that something can happen to you. However, whatever be the crisis, you are capable in a way to handle that situation in such a way that it does not create a very devastating impact, but you are also able to sail through it without getting into very, very difficult situations that it could have created for you. So this is what ideally Kaspersky is about. We really want to get our customers and get our partners to a level where we talk about being cyber immune rather than being cyber secure. Because given the fact that nobody can be secure today, someday something, somewhere will go wrong. So given the fact that we accept that, let's take a step forward and try and see how we get to the level of immunization when it comes to cyber security. So yes, that's a fact. We are a 25-year-old company. This is our 25th year. Somewhere around June this year, Kaspersky will be 25 years old. A 25-year-old organic organization which till date has not done any acquisition of all the technologies that it sells, which means that we invest a lot of time and resources in research and development. We are present in about 200 countries, which is pretty much in line with any other global brand in the market today when it comes to cybersecurity. But what makes us different is the Transparency Center. So if you could follow my mouse, what is a Transparency Center? And I think no better time than talking about this today. Transparency Center is a concept, or rather it's an infrastructure created by Kaspersky. As of now, we have about 3 functional transparency centers across the globe. One is in Malaysia, one is in Switzerland, one is in California, if I'm right, and the other one is coming up in Germany. What is a transparency center? As a brand that works with cybersecurity, every customer is concerned about, once we use your technology, and this is common with every brand, it's not restricted only to Kaspersky. Once I deploy a particular solution on my endpoint, on my server, on my perimeter, or any part of my network, how is that product behaving on my endpoint? And how does it relate to the data which is sitting on my endpoint? And in the worst possible scenario, if there is a data which is being extracted, how is the data being used, if at all the data is being extracted? So we at Kaspersky thought that no better way than opening up the codes for all the channel community and all the customers, whoever wishes to see how as a brand we handle the data, how or what is our hunting technique, what are the rules and methodologies that we use, what codes have been written for our product, and how does this product behave. This is what a transparency center is. So based on whatever level of cyber understanding or forensic understanding that the customer or the partner has, we are open to host the partner or the customer into the transparency center and show them whatever they wish to see in terms of processes, technologies, methods, codes that have been written, and give you the confidence that you as a customer are in safe hands with Kaspersky. And I wouldn't be wrong if I said that as of today, Kaspersky is the only brand in the market globally that has this kind of an open policy, and it is open for everybody, be it a customer, be it a channel partner, be it a hacker, be it anyone who needs to understand anything deeper about Kaspersky. So this is why we call it as a transparency center. By the end of 2023, we intend to open 3 more transparency centers across the globe. So that's the confidence that we have on our technology and the comfort that we can give to people who are engaging with us. How do we make the best of the optimal use of the information or the cyber information that we have? We are connected directly to Interpol, and Interpol kind of government agencies across the globe. Around 9 Interpol agencies have direct interaction with Kaspersky, where they take help from us to decode a lot of things that are happening in the dark web, and this is a very formal engagement which we have with them. CERT India also has been a constant and a very happy user for the threat intelligence and threat inputs provided by Kaspersky to the Indian government. Beyond that, there is a lot of things that we do specifically for smart cities. And this is not only for India. We are doing a lot of development activity and customized cyber solutions for smart cities, because if you look at it from an India perspective, most of the smart cities are based on surveillance. The fundamental platform or the dominant technology that is being used for smart cities in India is around surveillance. With surveillance comes cameras, comes networking, comes servers. Now with this, there is also a dimension of IoT, Internet of Things. There is a lot that we are doing with a handful of smart cities in India today, where we are trying to implement the IoT solutions in India so as to protect the surveillance cameras from a cyber security perspective. The other aspect which I really want to touch upon, as a brand, we have an end-to-end offering that not only covers cyber security from an endpoint, we also cover cyber security from the industrial cyber security perspective. And it gives me great confidence when I say this, that again, I really don't have a strong recall of a brand that can cover everything from as basic as a endpoint to something as complex as industrial cyber security, because it's a different ball of technology altogether. When we talk about industrial cyber security, we are talking about SCADA, we are talking about PLCs, we are talking about creating a bubble of cyber security around legacy technologies which have been existing for more than 20-25 years now. And as a service provider or as a cyber solution provider, the only brand today that has threat intelligence on not only the IT piece but also the OT piece. Most of the providers, or rather all the providers, I can be very, very confident when I make this statement today, that nobody has threat intelligence on the cyber as well as the industrial cyberspace. We are one of the only ones who are able to do it and do it quite successfully. The kind of solutions which we have, we cover absolutely every aspect of business verticals, right from the endpoint to the network, to the perimeter, to external intelligence, to predictive surveillance, to reactive methodologies. any aspect of cybersecurity that you can think of, we can be a partner to you to take you out of situations or possibly give you solutions that might not get you into a cyber situation at all. One of the brands that has been most evaluated by the most third parties in the world. Every third party vendor wants to have our solution to evaluate and have his or her or their comments onto it. There's no official way that I can justify that, and I pardon myself for that. But we are actually the only brand which has been evaluated by everybody, whoever is into doing any kind of third-party services of sharing their comments and observations about where the industry is and what it's happening to. Coming to something that nobody talks about is Gartner Peer Insights. What is Gartner Peer Insights? Everyone talks about Gartner Magic Quadrants. Everyone talks about market trends from Gartner. Everyone talks about the saturation, the technology saturation curve of Gartner. I mean, I've been ex-Gartner, so I have my own recall of things. Nobody talks about Peer Insights. Peer Insights is a survey run by Gartner with the customers who are using the X brand or the product or the service from Kaspersky. 2018 onwards, that is 18, 19, 20, 21, 4 years in a row, Gartner has rated Kaspersky as the Peer Insight Award for multiple technologies, which means that this award is something that has been given to Kaspersky, which has been rated by the customers about how their experience about Kaspersky has been when they have used their solution, which is more than 18 months into existence. That is the fundamental baseline of Gartner's questionnaire. So this is something which ideally only we have in the endpoint space and the threat intelligence space. And since nobody else has it, nobody else talks about it. It's the other way around as well. Since we have it, we are talking about it. Moving very quickly, now when I say that I have, or Kaspersky as a brand has so many things to offer, we are working very hard for the last 3 years to break the perception which is in the market that Kaspersky is an antivirus company or an endpoint company. No, we are not. The thing that we missed out over the last so many years is, as a brand, the perception within the organization or within Kaspersky has always been that, we are a great product. The ones who understand the product or the ones who really are technical in nature would want to test us and then buy us. So we were never into the push mechanism. We were always into the pull mechanism. But finally, good sense prevailed. And now, with the new logo coming up, with the new branding and the way we are functioning now as a proper global organization, we are working like any of our other competitive solution providers who go out and sell, who go out and tell. This is exactly what we are doing today. We are standing on a platform like this, which was not very common for Kaspersky, to come out and tell people what we can do and how we can do. Talking about solutions, we are not into X product selling or an endpoint product selling. We are, and we want to also be in a scenario where we are seen as a cyber partner to the customer or to the channel. We have absolute offerings from services which can start as early as creating a policy, working on the solution, working out the maturity level of the customer based on the industry standards, then coming to a level of suggesting what could be the way forward, what could be a 6-month roadmap, what could be a 3-year roadmap or even more. We are not into a particular pattern where we get into a situation that since the customer today demands EDR, let's go out and sell EDR. Today the customer is demanding threat intelligence, so let's go out and sell threat intelligence. Well, we do that, obviously, that's bread and butter. But the point is, as much as possible, our intent is to primarily get into a conversation to understand why that particular solution is being bought and what could be made better. Because more often than not, we've realized that many times problems could be solved by the existing setup that the customer already has, or maybe something which is much more simpler to execute rather than getting heavy on technology on the endpoint. Because like it or not, as you keep loading technology on your endpoint, no matter how light or how heavy the agent is, it does affect the performance of your endpoint. And like someone just pointed out, time is money. You can't afford machines being slowed down. And this is not, like she pointed out, is not the problem with large enterprises today, it is the problem with SMBs as well. As said by her, 3 out of 4 SMBs are under attack or facing difficult cyber situations, which was not the scenario maybe 4 years, 5 years ago. And I would absolutely agree with her because those are the conversations that we continue to have with the channel as well as with the customers. So given the fact, the point that I'm trying to drive here is, it's not an antivirus company, it's not an endpoint company, it's not a product company. We are a hardcore solution provider or a problem solver when it comes to being a cyber solution difficulty being faced by a channel or a partner. Focused solutions on endpoints, focused solutions on servers, focused solutions on hybrid cloud migration, because cloud doesn't happen immediately, cloud doesn't happen overnight. There is a hybrid model where you slowly move your infrastructure to the cloud. How that movement is going to happen, how the licensing policy should be worked out, everything is being planned in a very structured way and is customizable based on the customer's requirement or the channel's requirement. Very genuine numbers. From a point in time where we used to see 50 incidents to 14,000, now more than 4,80,000. A very important aspect that I want to touch upon, threat intelligence. Everyone talks threat intelligence, everyone is talking threat feeds today. How many of you all have had the conversation or the training or the exposure to understand what is a high-level threat intel, what is a low-level threat intelligence? Where is threat intelligence should be used for short-term purposes and how you can use threat intelligence from long-term purposes? How does a tip possibly make life better? And are you in a scenario today to get into a solution for tip? Or can there be better things and easier ways to do around threat intelligence? Huge things that people possibly are not aware of and it goes unnoticed and undiscussed. Primarily for the reason because of lack of exposure and understanding. A clustered slide, but just to give you an overview about the kind of threat actors that we detected and we pointed out at the time of the APT threat actors that we follow. This is a snapshot. If I open the entire screen, it would possibly look fully red. So this is the kind of threat intelligence which we have, which goes down to the level of tracing each and every threat actor in an APT group. Again, talking about third party, Gartner till date does not have a wave or a quadrant for threat intelligence, but Forrester does. And as of today, we still stand rated second in Forrester ratings in terms of threat intelligence being provided globally by us. This is the Gartner model, predict, prevent, detect, and respond. This is the way Kaspersky fulfills it. We have different level of solutions in every aspect of the prevent, predict, respond, and detect journey. The only organization that works in industrial cybersecurity with an entire solution, again from the endpoint right up to the network, to threat intelligence, to services, to integration between IT and OT. We move with an objective where we get to threat immunity or cyber immunity. The objective or the method is, can we create an ecosystem at the customer side where the cost of an attack is more than the cost of the defense. Once we are able to create that ecosystem where the cost of an attack is more than the cost of the defense, at that point in time, we would be at a level where we can talk as an organization being cyber immune rather than cyber secure, because we all agree there is no 100% cyber security. So we are trying to work out and come to a level where we create a world which is more immune towards cyber security than just being cyber secure. So that's from my side, guys. Thank you so much. I hope that was informative.